opportunity which we gave to the people of Zambia, the citizens themselves of this country. Our aim as the Patriotic Front, we wanted to create our own billionaires so that we can attend to our economy within ourselves. What we are seeing today, we are seeing a different route altogether. And I want to encourage the people of Zambia never to lose hope, because this country belongs to all of us. This country belongs to the people of Zambia themselves. Who are the people of Zambia? It's me and you, including the people who are governing today. We have seen that in our economy today, the economy is not ticking. There's a lot of issues to do with the economy of this country. Issues to do with mining, issues to do with agriculture, issues to do with water, issues to do with electricity, and many other issues which we need to address as a nation. We call upon the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to call an economic indaba for all of us to participate and bring new ideas how we can salvage our economy of this country. This is our country. This country belongs to us and belongs to the future generation. It is not personal to other country. All of us, we have got shares, including you, our men and women, our journalists. The media fraternity, you have to get consent. When you see something which is not going well, we need to participate and bring out new ideas. Advising government is not a crime. Advising government is not a crime. And today, I hope and trust that we are not going to commit a crime. We will advise government at this press briefing. We are going to advise government on road shedding. I remember very well when President Hakainde Hichilema held the press briefing at State House. I remember Pizzi and Hope from Hot FM. They went to interview President Hakainde Hichilema, and he promised us that, Hope, 2 months or so, we have finished road shedding. So today, we are experiencing, Mr. President, 3 days, 4 days of road shedding. And this is the road shedding which the President promised us that we have dealt with road shedding. We have seen the Vice President of this country, Honorable Mutare Nalumango, coming to the people again saying the reason why we are having road shedding is because of PF. And we are wondering, why PF? Because the President told the people of Zambia that we have managed to handle road shedding. The Vice President, she comes, she's telling us that why we are having road shedding is because of PF. PF is not in government. The party in government is UPND. And the UPND, they have the responsibility to end road shedding. And President Hakainde Hichilema has given us a lot of examples how Zambia can end road shedding. One of the examples he gave us is Dubai. He gave us the example of Dubai. And today, we don't know whether it's the people who are working with President Hakainde Hichilema who are failing to implement Hakainde Hichilema's policies. Today, we are wondering why President Hakainde Hichilema, his words and deeds are two different things. We don't know whether the technocrats, they have failed Hakainde Hichilema or not. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, my president, the President of the Republic of Zambia, we want to advise you one thing, that you have a team which is not helping you. The group of people you have, they are not helping you. Your ministers, they don't know what they are doing. Your ministers are very blank. They don't know what they are doing. We want to advise you to fire some of your ministers. There are issues at Ministry of Health. We expect you, Mr. President, to get rid of Madam Sylvia Masebo, because all of us, even the baby, the 5-year baby, she can attest to that, or he can attest to that, that Minister of Health has failed. Transferring a failure, it will not help that minister to take. You have a lot of backbenchers in Parliament whom you can use to occupy those positions. You have the chair for Health Committee at Parliament, who's a UPND member of Parliament. He is a doctor, and you can appoint him as a Minister of Health. If you don't want to appoint that minister, that MP, you have young men and women in the UPND who are in Parliament who can work as ministers. You have the young Lomio Kangombe, you have the young Kambita, you have a lot of young men and women in the UPND who can occupy those positions. Mr. President, this is the time to engage a lot of young men and women in governing this nation. We want the young men and women to be counted. We want them to participate. We want them to add value to the growth of our economy. Your Minister of Health, then, Madam Masebo, whom you have transferred from her ministry to the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Lands, the Ministry of Lands is a very sensitive ministry, Mr. President, and we don't need a failure to head that ministry. It's a very sensitive ministry. Why can't you try other members of the UPND, or you have got a right to nominate any citizen of this country who can perform in those portfolios. Mr. President, the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Ruben Mutolo, is a failure. He has failed from day one. And we don't know why you are still keeping the Minister of Agriculture. Millimil, Mr. President, it is unbearable to our citizens in Kanyama, our citizens in Ngombe, and even surrounding area here, Kamanga and Kaunda Square where we stay. I've been interacting with our neighbors, the people in Kamanga. They have confirmed to me that they are failing to have 3 meals a day, Mr. President. They have confirmed to me. I interact with them. And the problem is the Minister of Agriculture, who's supposed to be a #1 advisor on the issues to do with agriculture to you, Mr. President. I don't know why you're taking time to fire the Minister of Agriculture, because it's not adding value at all to your governance of this country called Zambia. He has failed. By the time I was a member of Parliament, I cautioned Mr. Mutolo to stop exporting maize and millet to Congo and other countries. Proudly, with a lot of ignorance and arrogance, Mr. Mutolo told the people of Zambia that the policy of UPND is to continue selling maize and millet to DRC and any other African country. And he told us that we want to treat agriculture as business. All of us, we have treated agriculture as business. That's why we encourage our farmers to grow in access, so that when we secure our food reserve for our country, then other produce we can export to other countries. But immediately they came in, they sold everything. And I want to encourage Mr. President, don't waste your time anymore. Fire the Minister of Agriculture. He's not adding any value. Don't look at their faces. They will cost you. Don't look at their faces. They will cost you. I want to salute former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu, he had to fire ministers. Minister of Sports, by then, Honorable Moses Mawere, Minister of Health, Honorable Chitalu Chilufya, Minister Kambwiri, Minister Emeline Kabanshi, and many more ministers were fired by President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. He wanted to make sure that he fights corruption and also give the people of Zambia the development which they needed. And you can see across the country that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu gave the people of Zambia the development they needed. He gave them schools, he gave them hospitals, he gave them health posts, he gave them roads, and many other infrastructure. He gave them. He had to pump in money into agriculture for us to have what we call bumper harvest. We had bumper harvest in President Edgar Chagwa Lungu's administration. It is not that Edgar Chagwa Lungu had no issues in his tour of duty as the president of this country. We experienced a lot of issues. We experienced drought, we experienced floods, we experienced cholera, we experienced COVID. But President Lungu managed to fight all those things as it's giving development to the people of Zambia. So, Mr. President, don't waste your time. Fire these ministers. The Minister of Energy, now Minister of Livestock, I don't know why you're keeping him. I don't know why you're keeping him. You can't keep a farrier from the Ministry of Energy and you're taking that farrier to the Ministry of Livestock. There is nothing that you are doing, Mr. President. You are just creating more problems. Fire those ministers. The Minister of Water. Mr. President, on the press briefing, you told us that where can you have the borehole for 500,000 kwacha? Even yourself, we were worried, Mr. President, that you can't drill a borehole for 500,000 kwacha. And what have we seen? Transferring a minister who was in the Ministry of Water, where the bore was costing 500 kwacha, and you bring that minister to Ministry of Green and Green Economy. Mr. President, there is nothing that you are doing. There is nothing that you are doing. You are not helping yourself. Fire those ministers. You have got more than 10 ministers you have to fire for you to start performing to the expectation of the people of Zambia. Minister of Mines. Minister of Mines is another failure, Mr. President. He's another failure, Mr. President. Minister of Mines, he was my district chairman for Chirirabombwe and my former mayor for Chirirabombwe. I know him very well. That ministry is too huge for him. What he's doing there, Mr. President, those are the people who cost you in 2026. This is the time you need and you have to make sure that you put things in order. We are saying so, brothers and sisters in Kalingalinga who are performing or conducting their businesses as hand to mouth, it is very difficult for them to survive today. The Baba boys and men in Kalingalinga and across the nation, they are failing to work because of this road shedding. Our sisters in Kamanga, those with the saloons, they are failing to work because of this road shedding. Mr. President, we started as MMD to attend to the future, for the future of electricity in our country. President Rupia Bwezan-Banda by then, may his soul rest in peace, we started by promoting solar geysers because we anticipated what we are experiencing today. We anticipated what we are experiencing today. When you go to State House compound, you find a lot of solar geysers, which we started with late President Rupia Bwezan-Banda. That project was launched in Mandevu Rally. Some of you can recall that. For us to reduce on the overload of ZESCO by reducing and encouraging the people of Zambia to start using solar geysers. We also encourage the people of Zambia to switch off the stoves, the electricity stove, to go to gas stoves. Under the late President Rupia Bwezan-Banda. When the late President Michael Sata came, he pushed on this, and President Edgar Chagwa Lungu had implemented this fight by opening up solar farms in this country. One of the solar farms is the one which President Hakainde Hichilema recently commissioned in Kitwe. It was Edgar Chagwa Lungu's baby. The other solar farm which we have in New Kasama at Mfez, it is Edgar Chagwa Lungu's baby. And many other solar farms which we started constructing under Ministry of Energy in conjunction with ZESCO. So for us, we anticipated this. Being the member of cabinet by then, the issue of electricity, it was a huge issue. It was a huge issue. And our aim was to subsidize the people of Zambia. Because the people of Zambia, we said they are paying a lot of taxes. And we wanted them not to pay a lot of money for power. So President Edgar Chagwa Lungu wanted to subsidize, and he had to subsidize the power which we used under his leadership. The other problem which we have is CEC. That CEC is a scandal. CEC is a scandal. We almost cancelled the contract between CEC and ZESCO because CEC was stealing from the people of Zambia. And we agreed as government to cancel that contract because CEC is buying electricity from ZESCO. By then they were buying between 3 to 5 cents. And they were selling between 11 and 15 cents to the mines. Stealing from the people of Zambia. Stealing from the people of Zambia. And that electricity, some of that electricity, we are just importing that electricity from Mozambique. So we say to ourselves, why are we keeping CEC? Why are we keeping CEC? CEC is not a government subsidiary. CEC is in the private hands. Why are we keeping CEC on the expense of the people of Zambia? For us, we did our part as cabinet, and we were just waiting for that contract to be cancelled. But today, CEC, they are celebrating. They have made a lot of billions. They were about to construct the power station in Kabompo. Another one, if I'm not mistaken, between Nigeria or Ghana, using our taxpayers' money. So, Mr. President, some of these things, it's the things which you can sit, reflect on it, and act on behalf of the Zambians. And that is the responsibility number one, which we gave you. If you recall very well, the citizens of this country, our colleagues, the media, we told the people of Zambia that IMF is not something that we should entertain as a country. There is no country where IMF has visited and that country stand to celebrate. No country. Each and every country IMF has visited, those countries, their citizens cry. We told you this. We wrote to IMF. Some of you are even laughing. Oh, Bowman, what are you trying to achieve? What I was trying to achieve is to block IMF from coming to Zambia, because I knew that IMF, those boys and girls in Washington, there's nothing that they can offer to our country. I told them that you have nothing to offer to our country. The solutions of our country lies in our hands. We need home-based solutions, not IMF. We wrote to IMF, and it is in the public domain. IMF responded to us. As usual, they failed to answer our questions. They referred us to our government. We went to the Minister of Finance. We wrote to Minister Stumbeko Musokotwane. We wrote to Secretary to the Treasury, Nkurukusa. And up to date, we have not received any response from them, which means even them, they had no answers to give to the people of Zambia. But what we are seeing today, we are seeing poverty increasing in our country. We are seeing poverty increasing in our country. And this is the thing which we wanted to fight. Zambia is a very rich country. Zambia is a very rich country. We have natural resources everywhere, God-given. And what we want to do, what we have to do, is just to put our heads together and make sure that we develop this country on our own. This is our country, and we need to develop this country, and it's between you and me. That's all, not any other person. The issue to do with corruption. Corruption is bad. Corruption is bad. It's an evil thing. And when you have corrupt people in the country, you can't develop. You cannot develop. And I want to encourage the president that let us fight corruption as a nation together. Let us fight corruption as a nation together. I am proud Zambian and a proud former government official, and I can walk with my head high in the streets of Lusaka, in the streets of Zambia, and the streets of Africa, that I executed my duty as a government official above board. There is no one who can come to me and tell me that, Bowman, when you are performing your duties as a minister for Copperbelt, minister for Lusaka, you committed this offense. My hands are very clean. Very clean. You may ask me the question, but Bowman, why are you in court? And I'll answer you that go and see my indictment in court and come to me and tell me that, Bowman, you are lying. You committed some offenses while working as a minister. Not at all. Not at all. I'm a very proud former government official. That's why I'm talking about corruption with my head and my brain and my heart, which is very open, that corruption is bad. Corruption is bad. And we expect the president to fight this corruption with teeth and nail. Whether his people are participating in this corruption, let him fire, arrest them, and prosecute them. And we were waiting to see the government officials who are participating in corruption. We know them. We know a lot of them. In Copperbelt, we know them. In Lusaka, we know them. And we know the files which are at the SEC connecting to the current government officials whom they are failing to prosecute. We know what is happening at SEC. We know. And we are encouraging the SEC to perform their duties without getting intimidation from anyone. Let them work the way they have been working on us. Let them work. They have been coming to cut our gates. They have been arresting us, take us to court, to police, or to SEC. And they have found that, but I am a guy, FEMA politics, tapari of that tamagaiza. And it's very sad. It's very sad. So we want to encourage the president to fight this corruption and not to engage in persecution. Persecution is bad because persecution destroys families. When you come here, you harass me here with my kids around. My kids may think there's something that I've done. But in the actual sense, it's just politics. So let us fight corruption. Let us not fight political persecution. Let us remove political persecution and fight corruption. On that score, I want to turn to region issues. I hope and trust that we have exhausted our situation which we are facing in our country, politically, economically, and also the issues concerning other activities. We have seen also in our country today that when you go to the courts of law, you find all opposition, political party leaders lining up to enter in one in these courts. One in this court, the other one in that court, the other one in that court, which is not giving us a good picture to the outside world. I want to talk about also the issue to do with Edgar, Chagwa, Lungu. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is a parent to some of us, a colleague to most of us, and some of us we have got a close ties with President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. The issue to do with Lapo, it is not my issue. It's not President Hakaine's issue. It is not any person's issue. It's an issue for the people of Zambia. Let the people of Zambia decide whether they need President Lungu to come back or not. It is not the issue of debate. Let them decide. We have seen a lot of people have gone to polls, and the people of Zambia have said no. We have seen a lot of politicians who would want to stand as members of parliament, and the people of Zambia have said no. It is up to the people of Zambia to decide. It's up to the people of Zambia to decide. And the people are speaking a lot concerning Lapo. It's the UPND ministers because they are failing the president. They are failing the president. That's why I want to encourage the president to fire these ministers, Mr. President. They are sitting ducks. These ministers, fire them. But President Abeneba ishire na mano ya suma aya kubombele chalo. Ba ishire na mano ya suma aya kuchinja economy. But President eti babombe beka. Bafire wale bombana ma ministers. No, but these ministers tapari of Barechta. They are not helping him. It is not enough just to be called a minister. It is not enough. You have to work. And for us, as the people of Zambia, we voted for President Hakainde Hichilema. We did not vote for Kabuswe. We didn't vote for Kapala. And moreover, Kapala doesn't even know how it feels to be voted for. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. That's why if you see his performance, it's below par. He almost fought with a member of parliament for Kalabo because he doesn't even feel how they cast votes in the constituency. How to keep the constituency, the branches, the wards. He doesn't know. For him, it was a jackpot to get a ministerial position at a free rate. Very free, without any struggle. He was given Minister of Energy. So the issue to do with Edgar Chagwa Lungu, let them forget about Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Let them concentrate on how to salvage this economy from where we are today. President Hakainde Hichilema, in this whole thing, is very innocent. The culprits are the ministers. The people are supposed to advise him on agriculture. They are trotting in parliament and issuing statements which is not helping the country. The issue was supposed to help them in electricity, energy. They are in parliament insulting the villagers that we can't afford to give a filling station to the people of Kalabo. People of Kalabo, they are people like us. They need these services as well. They need these services as well. Now we have a minister who's not sensitive to their statements. The people of Zambia, they need filling stations next to their doorstep. So these people, Your Excellency, they are not helping you. And the issue to do with Edgar Chagwa Lungu, let the people talk. Let the people talk. Forget about the debate on this issue. Let the people talk. We are concentrating on non-issues instead of concentrating with issues which can help Zambia to develop. We are concentrating on non-issues at all. The issue to do with the regional issues, we know that we engage ourselves in global politics and regional politics. We appeal to the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to address the issue to do with Zimbabwe. The issue to do with Zimbabwe, it's not a cadre issue. It's a very sensitive issue. We saw UPND cadres in Ndola talking about Zimbabwe. Another cadres talking about Zimbabwe. This is a very sensitive issue, and it's an issue which is bordering our diplomatic relation with Zimbabwe, and we hope and trust that the President will handle the issue of Zimbabwe carefully, and we suggest that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, working with the President of the Republic of Zambia, to engage the former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu to be an envoy to Zimbabwe to go and settle these issues. Politics aside, Zambia and Zimbabwe before 1964 were one. Zambia and Malawi were one. So there's nothing like Zimbabwe, another country, Zambia, another country, Malawi, another country. We are one country. We can call it that we are the sister province. We have a lot of Zimbabweans here. We have a lot of Zambians in Zimbabwe. We have a lot of Zambians in Malawi. We have a lot of Malawans in Zambia. It's a one country. And this diplomatic relation, it's very important for us to have a sound diplomatic relation with Zimbabwe. And former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is the best person to be a Zambian envoy to Zimbabwe to discuss our bilateral relation with Zimbabwe. And I hope the Minister and the President can get this message quickly so that the issue of Zimbabwe, we can put it to bed. The issue to do with South Africa. South Africa, We want to encourage them that the government of national unity, which they have come up with in South Africa, we pray that it works. Because South Africa is a very strategic country where economy is concerned to this country, Zambia. And South Africa and Zambia, we are brothers and sisters. We hope and trust that the government of the national unity, which has been formed in South Africa, it will work in the betterment for the people of South Africa and the region at large. The happenings in Kenya, Kenya and the Uganda situation, it is very regrettable that we have lost lives, especially in Kenya. Young men, they have lost lives. And their call is similar to what our fellow young men and women in Zambia, they are calling government to do. Their calls are very genuine. The young men and women in Kenya, they want their government to provide jobs to them. They are ready to work. They have told the government that we are ready to work. Give us jobs. We want to work. Similar to what is happening in our country. Our young and women, they have been telling governments that give us works. Give us jobs. We want to work. And it's up to the government to create jobs to the youths and its citizens. So we want to pray that the situation in Kenya, it will be normalized, and we want to urge our youths in Kenya to avoid engaging themselves into violence. Their calls are genuine, but we don't want them to engage themselves into violence. There is nothing that can be sorted out through violence. Each and every issue can be sorted out through dialogue, through the round table. And we expect our brothers and sisters in Kenya to explore dialogue instead of violence. And we expect the government of Kenya to listen to what the people are saying. The issue to do with global, the issue to do with the United States of America and the happenings, especially the attempted assassination of the former President Donald Trump, it is very regrettable and very unfortunate. As a country, and as a citizen of this country, Zambia, we know that America has been enjoying democracy for the past 200 years. And for us, we copy our democracy from them, and seeing America engaging in political violence, it was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And we wish the quick recovery to the former President Donald Trump, as he's recovering from the wounds he sustained during that attempted assassination. As a citizen of this country and as a politician, I want to take this opportunity to declare my support for the 47th incoming President of the Republic of the United States of America, Donald Trump. Yeah. And my endorsement of Donald Trump, I have seen that is the only person who can bring stop to some of the nonsense which we have been seeing globally. One, the issue to do with the Ukraine war. We hope and trust that Donald Trump can stop this fight which has been going on in Ukraine. We want to also declare that Donald Trump, he has been pushing for a very good policies of respecting the Africans, the blacks in America. And he wants to create jobs to those Africans in America. We also believe that the call of Donald Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, that to make America great again, it is a very good move. And we want to encourage African governments to emulate what Donald Trump is doing. Africa, we have everything. We have everything in this continent. But we always run to America. We run to IMF. We run to World Bank to seek for funds. Those World Bank and IMF, they can never develop Africa. This Africa will be developed by us, Africans. So we want to encourage Donald Trump that your call of making America great again is a good call, and we encourage you to do that, and we encourage to ourselves to emulate what Trump wants to achieve in America. And Donald Trump, come November, he'll be back as the President of the United States without any challenges. We have seen that the Democrats, they have nominated a woman as the nominee for 2024 November elections in America. But for us, we will support Donald Trump. And on that call, we will contribute $1,000 to the Donald Trump campaign and fundraising team. We want to be part of it. We want America to be great so that the world will be great again. We don't want this confusion which is happening in Africa. We don't want this confusion which is happening in the world. We want this world to be peaceful so that we can stay as human beings. And the only person who can do that is President Donald Trump. And today we want to change his name from "Let us make America great again" to the bulldozer of the world. Yeah. So Donald Trump will be calling him the bulldozer of the world. He's going to conquer all these issues which we are seeing in Ukraine and other issues. The issue to do with the illegal immigrants in United States. We want to encourage Donald Trump to make sure that you put that to the stop, especially Africans. Stop illegal Africans coming to America. We want these Africans to develop our own countries. They can go to America to get education and come back and implement that in our country. We need them. We need them to work here. We need Africa to develop. We need Africa to develop. And it can only develop when we have Africans who are committed to develop this country, this continent. So for me, these are the few words which I had for the people of Zambia and for the people of Africa and for the people of the world. We want to thank all of you. We want to thank Mother Zambia. And we want to thank you, journalists. You have been working under difficult conditions, under difficult challenges. But please, educate and inform our people on the things which has been happening in our country, across the borders, and in the global world. The people wants to know. The people wants to know. And when you see corrupt ministers, tell the people that these are corrupt ministers. So today, we have told the president, Mr. President, you have got all nice MPs in parliament under UPND. Fire Kapala, fire Kabuswe, fire Masevo, fire Mutolo, and many other ministers are not performing. Don't look at their faces. Don't think, no, I was with them when I was campaigning. That was time for campaigning. This is a time to do real issues. Real issues, not campaigns. Real issues. Issues which is affecting the people of Zambia. You need people who can help you. We have young people in that parliament. The Kangombes, the Kambitas. Name them. You have a lot of young people. The Mwandi member of parliament. You have a lot of young men and women in parliament. Mr. President, there is no one who has got a qualification to be a minister. Anyone can be a minister. Anyone can be a minister. So let us have a Zambia which we want. And the Zambia we want a Zambia where our people have 3 meals a day, our people have money to pay the bills, our people will take their kids to school. And these are the few words I had for all of you. I thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Honorable Sambo, for that. It looks like we've got 2 bulldozers in the world now, one in the United States and one in Zambia. So we'll see how the work will be done. We believe the work of the bulldozers is to clear things up, and I'm sure the endorsement will come with that great support. At this point, I would like to take any questions from the media. Please, colleagues, those with questions, at least let's have even 10 questions. Yes, we can have one from him, at least even 10. Yes.
Anyway.
At least even 10 questions. It's been a nice discussion. At least even 10 questions.
Thank you so much. My name is Blessings. I'm from Crown TV. Honorable, this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. I want you to, you spoke about on the need to fight corruption. And recently the president said, corruption is something that can be fought overnight. And he feels the UPND needs a little bit of some more time to fight this vice. I want you to get your reaction on that.
All right.
Another one is, I also want to get your reaction on, the misunderstandings that are happening in your party, the PF. I think you've been quite alright. You've been off, but you've been closely monitoring what has been happening. I want to get your reaction to what is happening in the Patriotic.
Okay, let's also have another one, then you can respond, then you can have 3 more.
Yeah, I think partly has tackled my question, but I think I can add on. I want to get your thoughts on the current happenings in the PF. Currently, we have, I think, 3 sections. Those that are following former President Edgar Lungu, others as Chawinga, others with Mao Samba. How does it make you feel as Bowman Musamba, as Bulldozer?
Thank you very much, colleagues. I will start with my friend from Crown TV. Responding to the president's call that you can't fight corruption overnight. Mr. President, you can. You can fight corruption overnight. The reason behind that is that we have institutions which we have put in place. We have Drug Enforcement Commission, which was established through the Constitution of Zambia. We have Anti-Corruption Commission, and we have got also FIC. And we know exactly what we want to achieve. And DEC and ACC, before arresting, their core number 1, or responsibility number 1, is to educate the people of Zambia. And by doing so, Mr. President, the people of Zambia's mindset will be changed. And you will fight corruption through education. By protecting as well. We have a lot of watchdogs. It is very easy and possible for corruption to be fought. You can fail to fight corruption if you start shielding the collapse. Immediately you start shielding the collapse, then you feel like it is very difficult to fight corruption. But I know President Hakainde Hichilema, having known him now for some time, it is very difficult for him to shield the collapse. That's why we have called on the president to fire these ministers, because we suspect these ministers, they are very corrupt. We suspect that these ministers are very corrupt. Let him fire them. So it is very easy to fight corruption overnight. And it is not fighting corruption overnight. It's not President Hakainde Hichilema himself per se that he should be the one fighting corruption. No. We have institutions already set up in our country. Institution of governance. We have them. We have the police, we have SEC, and we have DEC and FIC. So it's not up to the president. The president is just supposed to give a political will to those institutions. So it is very easy to fight corruption. Very easy, Mr. President. If Mr. President wants some of us to help him to fight corruption, we are here. We are here. And we will help him, and we will tell him that, Mr. President, this is what is happening in your government. Even today, Mr. President, he has my number. He can call me, Bowman, what do you mean? I will tell him. I will tell him. Okay? It's very easy, sir, to fight corruption. Very easy. The question which you asked, and it is the same question from my colleague, Logic. We have only one PF. We have only one Patriotic Front Party. And all of you, the people of Zambia, you know that we have only one PF. You talked about Chavinga. Chavinga, president. President Wanshi. Opo ina nemu inefie shidambo kuita president. Panali shibati 15 kwata procedure. Tetimfu befe, I want to be president. Iweteka nyamu eche. Ababe mbabalanda team. Mpombo wibirima. Ababirima. Kabaya. Ilo ababe mbababe nebalanda ti. Kabundi. Chef yomutwe. Impako. Shaba na bene. If you have a president, you have to president. One day, Misuma. President Edgar Hakainde himself, he told us that governing the nation is not easy. That's what he said. Himself, he told the people. He told us, governing the nation is not easy. Hello, Chabinge Wingesa, to govern which people? Which people? Some of these things, even by the time you want to engage yourself in such issues, first of all, am I ready to play this game? Some of us who have been quiet. I'm one of the most experienced politicians in Zambia. Most experienced. If we have 5, I'm one of them. I started politics at a tender age, and I've grown as a politician. I've worked with presidents. I understand politics. I understand politics very much. So if you want to come and talk about politics of this country, you are welcome. And we'll discuss politics. Politics has nothing to do with masters, with doctorates, with what? No. Politics is a different thing. It's a different ball game altogether. So for me, we have only one PF. One PF. I was very excited when I saw how Republicans held their convention. Very united, very beautiful. That's the thing which we want to see in this country. Let PF and UPND fight on principle, okay, using their manifestos. That's what we want to see. I want to argue with Gary on principles. I don't want to fight. And talking about the president is not an insult. It is not an insult. So in this country, we need to change our mindset. Immediately we change our mindset, you see development coming. But if we continue in this path, presidents will come, presidents will go, we will not see development. Development is about the mindset. So there's only one PF. Only one PF. And in Zambia, according to the governance system of our country, we have 3 arms of government. And the 3 are independent to each other. But what is happening in parliament today? It is very shocking. Even the conducting of business in parliament. I said, I don't even feel like being part of the rubbish. Okay? Because you can describe what is happening in parliament as rubbish. There is nothing which can inspire even you, colleagues who want to become MPs. You don't want to be part and parcel of the rubbish which is happening in parliament. You want to take change there. But you can't take change because you'll be curtailed. So we want the 3 arms of government to operate independently. That's when you're going to see the development which you want to see. So we have only one PF. One PF, one Secretary General, and we want to call for a united PF. So bachavinga mubebe bachavinga tao okumuleba kubuta fila twale butaka de kupanga maloba tu muntu erote muntu wamonaga twale butati police apanga police efile tontonganya chavinga. Okay, so tieni tuikatane fiba PF tuikatane ba UPND bekatane so that nga twaimini nas PF nangu debate baleta bana Lumangwa. Another person who's supposed to be fired is Honorable Vice President Nalumango. Because she's not adding any value to the president or to this country. She's not adding any value. And you want to urge and this is very serious, we want to urge the president, withdraw Vice President from the public. Because whenever she opens up her mouth, she's annoying the people of Zambia more. Okay? She comes here, mwalishitisha mataba, au tatwashitisha mataba. The same person, twalishitisha mataba as government walifo kupera mafamasi. Na mataba nshimwashitisha. Because mwadela tamwashitisha mataba. Again mwasa mkwenda tamwashitisha. Yo load shedding ni ba PF. Imwe. Load shedding ba president bala ndira twalipuisha. Yo mwasa mkwenda tiba PF. Ba PF ebale kita government chino chalo. Inenga na alikwete insta ama powers na Lumango supposed to be out of that position as vice president because she's not acting as a bootlicker. She's acting like a desperate person. Umuntu obaye bati mairo tule kutamfye nchito and you want to make your boss feel like apa alelandef, but it's destroying the president. It's showing to the people that those two, they don't sit and discuss. They don't discuss. Okay? They don't discuss. So that lady, let her be withdrawn from the public because she's just messing up things. And we don't need her. We don't need her. We don't need her. So, to close on your question, sir, one president, one PF, and we want all of us as PF to work as a team. If to be kwati ni kwa America, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Kamala, those, okay? To discuss the policies of PF, the policies of UPND. That's what we want to see. Ndamwansanga inena benali swaniso. Noto yiye poma inatsangana tumusanga benali ku arrest that defect. Bad manners. Who told you that when I sit with those people I have to defect? No. Nanguli swaniso ngaikala na she has to defect. We need to exchange notes. We live in the global world. Okay? We need to exchange. Turalanda no kulanda sa president ya faula ya tawa pana faula pat felefe to ayalanda. Okay? We discuss things. Because President Hakainde Hichilema is a human being. President Lungu is a human being. Nabena kuti bapanga mistakes. Ngabapanga mistakes mu government. Bapanga mistake. Barenji taba iwe president wo apa foul up. Ndiyo pesa apa. Achiringo kutasha nanga achitanda kufia sona. Ofo tuika life for politicians. Olo muiraru ano okurwa imwe makadazi. Mule ipa ya ifwe turanona ti. I receive more UPND ministers and UPND members here. We eat from this house. Okay? And I go to their homes as well. So imwenga mule ipaya ni vanu hivyo. As we talk, we laugh, we exchange notes. Ndanshikwe obunga na yasenda ko bunga ndatakwete aisa senda kuli mweni nshimule ipaya awe ifweni for PF ifweni for. That is rubbish. Let us change our mindset and start thinking like human beings. This country belongs to us. Politics cannot divide us. Politics is just a game. It is just a game. Today I can be UPND, tomorrow I can be PF, the other day I can be Citizens First. It is not a problem. We should not divide this country because of politics. We shouldn't divide this country because of politics. No, we should not. And we want to see President Edgar Lungu, President Hakainde Hichilema having coffee. Some of us, we take wine, others they take coffee, others they take whiskey. It's up to the person's choice. So we need to interact. Let us interact. And one of these days, you media come up with a debate for these presidents. We want President Lungu, President Hakainde Hichilema to discuss on issues pertaining to this country. And the people of Zambia, they will say, President Hakainde Hichilema, you know a lot of things. President Lungu, you don't know. President Lungu, you know a lot of things. President Hakainde Hichilema, you don't know. That is democracy, you people. That is democracy. So those are the things which I can say. So one PF. We have only one PF.
I've seen my brother Andrew there. Two questions from Andrew.
There's another one here.
Before I get another one, Andrew, I'd like you to ask two questions.
Where's Andrew?
While he's thinking, you can also ask a question. Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. Sambo, just on the picking it up from where you said you want to see President Hichilema and Lungu having coffee. What is your take on the suggested dialogue between the two leaders?
Okay.
Yes, my brother Andrew, please bring your question as well.
I want to find out whether he's still interested in contesting the Kabushi seat in the next election.
Any other question before Honorable can respond?
Maybe just a follow-up from Andrew.
Okay.
2026 is fast approaching, Honorable. Is it Kabushi or Mnadi?
Good question. Okay, we'll allow him to respond now, then we can close.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll start with my brother here. Dialogue cannot be forced. Okay? It is a notorious fact that President Lungu and President Hakainde Hichilema, they just have to talk for the betterment of this country. Don't underrate President Lungu and don't underrate President Hakainde Hichilema. President Lungu was a president for this country for 7 years. Alikuwa tama supporters hayengi, both in government and outside government. President Hakainde Hichilema is a president of this country, has supporters both in government and outside government. And for things to move, both inside and outside, those people has to work together. Those people have to, it's just a notorious fact, they just have to work together. So, balaba kandiri aba shinguruka ba Hakainde Hichilema. But no, not to kuleta Edgar Lungu. No, Shan. They are destroying the president. If I was the president, I would have been communicating with Edgar Lungu, and Edgar Lungu, who has been my best friend. Kubo munandi fyesan. Iwenga wakwata vice president na former president umunobe. Tapali fika kushupa mchalo. Finch fika kushupa mchalo. Tapali. Because balaba for kuima, the former president will come out, you guys give him chance to govern. Let him govern. The people of Zambia gave him a mandate to govern. Now, bakandile, balileta confusion. There's a political tense in this country. And we need to diffuse this tense, the political tense which is in this country. And the only people who can diffuse this, it's the president, Hakainde Hichilema, former president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, traditional leaders, and the church. Not one church, oh, come here. No. Churches, they have got association. I don't know if it's association or what. They can come together, all the associations, and call for these two to talk. I know President Lungu myself. I've been with President Lungu. You know, he gave me an opportunity to be his minister for 5 years for Lusaka and the Copper Belt province, and I want to salute him. I know this government on the palm of my hand. I know it. So tapari ngambe bafya governance woof. That's why I am ready to govern this country. I'm ready to govern this country. And those opportunities, they are coming. When I'll be in parliament with Logic, I'll be in parliament with the Aquino, I'll be in parliament with Isaac. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And that time is coming. Lesa alikwate nshita ya chila muntu nshita yako. Iyi nshita ya Hakainde Hichilema. President gave him 5 years, and in 2026 we are going to renew our mandate. And the people of Zambia, they're going to decide whether to give him another 5 years or to vote for another president. It's up to the people of Zambia. Kabushi or Munali, at this point, both. And I'll decide when we reach there. Because I'm very popular in Kabushi, and I'm very popular in Munali. Very popular. And for me to become a member of parliament for Munali, I will be the first Munali MP. Because all the MPs who have been here, they stay out of Munali. The MP who's there now, he stays in Chongwe. So, in Munali, we don't have an MP. Munali is open to anyone. So, I'm very popular in Munali, and I'm very popular in Kabushi constituency. Sure.
Do you have another question? I think I saw a question from someone at the back there.
Kwasira.
Okay, thank you so much, colleagues. Once more, we appreciate your attendance. Please keep coming. We encourage you to keep educating people. We rely on you. The country relies on you to inform them and, of course, to educate, just like Honorable said. Thank you once more. This is the end of our press briefing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.